In this tutorial, I will be guiding you through the process of doing dip powder nails. The process involves preparing the natural nail, applying the nail tips, application of the dip powder, and creating your desired design. Before we apply anything to our nails, we want to prepare our nail beds. You will need an electric nail filer for the preparation, and along with an e-file, you will also need a fine grit sanding bit to buff the natural nail plate. Being demonstrated in the video, I have the e-file set to 5 RPM and I am lightly buffing the nail plate. The RPM stands for rotations per minute, and having it at 5 RPM will ensure light pressure to avoid any overfiling. You want to work across the whole surface of the nail plate and ensure that you are being careful when working near the cuticle area to avoid any bleeding. Now that we have buffed each nail plate, we are now going to prime and dehydrate the nails. You want to apply your dehydrator first and your primer second. You want to dehydrate each nail to remove excess oils and moisture from the natural nail. This works by temporarily drying out the nail plate, and applying primer will improve the adhesion between the natural nail and the dip powder. After having applied our dehydrator and primer, our next step is to apply our tips. We want to select the correct tip size and choose a nail tip that matches the width of your natural nail. The tip should be sitting sidewall to sidewall without hanging over or being too narrow. After we size, we can apply the nail glue to the well of the nail tip, which is the part that will attach to your natural nail. We want to press this tip onto our nail at a 45-degree angle, starting at the free edge of your nail. The free edge of the nail is the part that extends beyond the fingertip, and after applying the tip, we want to hold it in place for 5 to 10 seconds to allow the glue to bond. After all of our tips are securely bonded to each nail, we can now cut them to our desired length. You can also shape at this stage. For our nails, we chose to cut them short and to shape them almond. If you choose to change the shape of your nails, you want to work with a 180 grit hand file to shape them. After you have shaped your nail tips to your liking, you are now ready for applying the dip powder. In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to use the Savolin dip powder system, where the process is dip powder base, activator, and dip top. Your first step is to apply your base. You want to apply a thin layer of this to your nail. The dip powder acts like a glue-like substance that creates a sticky layer on the nail surface. This layer will allow the dip powder to adhere securely when the nail is dipped into the powder. After applying your base, you want to immediately dip your nail into the dip powder at a 45-degree angle. When finished, tap off the excess powder. I recommend doing multiple layers of this to build structure. For every layer, you want to apply a thin layer of the dip powder and repeat the dipping process. After applying 2 to 3 layers of the dip powder, we can now seal it with the sealant. You want to apply this to each nail, and the seal is going to lock in the powder and create a smooth and durable surface. After sealing each nail, you can now begin your design. I find it helpful to find a reference photo to help guide your design. This is the art I was inspired to recreate, and I specifically like the shade of pink on the French tips. So I just applied the top coat and I am now going ahead and applying some cuticle oil to the finished nails. This is my completed nail art and I hope that you found this tutorial enjoyable and helpful. Thank you for watching.